This is Nancy Newhart with the Allegheny Highlands Arts and Crafts Center. I'm the curator, and I'm here with Dan Henderson, who is the new exhibit that's coming up starting Tuesday. So, Dan Henderson, how'd you get started?
Actually, my first career was in the fire service, and that is a very left brain sort of an occupation.
Okay.
Lots of rules and regulations and follow procedures. And when I got ready to retire from the fire department, I was looking for something to use the other side of my brain, something artistic. I can't draw and I can't paint, so photography seemed to be a good outlet for me.
Well, it certainly looks like it is. These are wonderful.
Thank you.
You have 3 different types of printing. I know you do a lot of your own printing still.
Yes, I do.
And I'm thrilled with that because I think that really adds something to the work. So
yes. When I started in photography, the appeal of black and white photography and the ability to not only make my own pictures but develop my own film, print my own work, even matting and framing my own work, had a real attraction to me. And so that's what I did for many years. And then in the last year or so, I've been exploring what's called alternative process photography. Can almost be called historical process or historic processes, because especially these salted paper prints go back to the very beginning of photography, when photographers were still figuring out how to print images and how to keep them permanent and that sort of thing. The salted paper print was really the first one that they could rely on that would be a permanent image for a very long period of time.
It has such a beautiful tone to it. I mean, black and white is something I really love and admire, but the magic of how it all happens is just amazing to me. But the fact that you can change the tone and the look of things by the way you process it, just amazing, is just wonderful. So the middle piece here is, you said a lith print?
That's called a lith print. And lith prints start out life as an ordinary film negative, black and white film negative. But when I process them and make the print in the dark room, I use a particular kind of paper that will give that really warm look to it. And then it is developed in very dilute lith film developer. That's where it gets the name lith. The process gives these nice, gentle highlights and midtones, but if you look into the shadows, it's really gritty and rough. And so it's a real interesting contrast. So for many years, that was this particular topic that I call entropy, or subject that I call entropy. I explored for many years, and those were almost the only prints that I made for a long time until I came back, or until I moved down here to Virginia and got reacquainted with the landscape and started doing more landscape photography again.
And this one has an interesting story behind it as well.
It is. That is from the Lee Plaza Hotel in Detroit, Michigan. When I lived in Michigan, I had some friends from Detroit who were kind of plugged into the urban explorer scene there. And they took us to some places like the Michigan Central Railroad Terminal, the Detroit Book Depository, this place, the Lee Plaza Hotel. And I was just captivated by the piano in this ballroom of the hotel and how it only had one leg. And so I photographed it, and I was really pleased with it. It's one of my personal favorites. Kind of like having a favorite child, I guess. You're not supposed to, but you can have.
We all do.
Yeah, we all do, right? And then I learned subsequently to this, a couple years later, that this piano had been destroyed, that vandals came in with axes and whatever and just destroyed it. So I like to think that I got the last good portrait of that piano.
I'd say so. And this piece, the blue, which I love the idea of the sailboat on the blue, and it's a cyanotype.
It is a cyanotype, that's correct. And well, this one too, but these both started out life as digital photographs, not film photographs. I photographed this 2 summers ago on Lake Michigan when I was back home for a visit and was out on the big lake, Lake Michigan, with some friends, and this beautiful sailboat went by, and I managed to catch it with an expressive sky and with the sun coming right through, and it just seemed to lend itself to the blue tones, and so I used cyanotype, which again is one of the earliest forms. In fact, as long as we're talking about cyanotypes, one of the first successful practitioners of the cyanotype was a British woman named Anna Atkins, and I believe that it's something just happened with her. It was like it was her 150th birthday, it would have been. But so she's been recognized lately for her work. She did a lot of botanicals where she would take plants and press them against this treated material, and then it would make like a cyanograph or a lumograph or whatever.
Well, those are great. And I love the edges on that.
Yeah, usually I do them like this and then mat them in, but that one just seemed, especially with the clouds, there seemed to be a little wildness to it, so I wanted to kind of accentuate that with the way I coated the paper.
And so each of these pieces that will be in the exhibit will also have fellow lith prints or
that's true.
Cyanotypes or whatever.
Yes.
So people who come can find enough of several different
more examples.
varieties to look at. So we're very excited, and we're glad you're here.
I'm really excited to be a part of the Arts Council here.
Thank you. Hi, we're back at Allegheny Highlands Arts and Crafts Center, getting ready for the next gallery exhibit with Candace Monahan and her wonderful sunflower photos. And Candace, introduce yourself.
I'm Candace Monahan, and we host the Beaver Dam Farm Sunflower Festival in Buchanan, and we've done an art exhibit of all of the photographs, some that I've taken from around the festival and of the flowers, and are happy to share it with you.
And we also have some interesting things that go along with it, because it's not quite time for the Sunflower Festival yet, but you do have a wonderful activity book, nice coloring book, some great cards, and some sunflower seeds. So you can sort of start your own garden and then go see how wonderful yours is.
Exactly.
And what time of year do you usually do the Sunflower Festival?
So we plant the flowers in July, and the Sunflower Festival is usually the second and third weekends in September.
Okay, and how many sunflowers do you have?
So we plant 21 acres, and that equals around 500,000 sunflowers.
Wow. How'd you get into the sunflower farm?
Well, my dad actually in 2015 decided that he wanted to plant a few flowers just to see if they came up and what happened with them. And so he did that, and we found out that we could harvest them for birdseed. And then in 2016, we planted again, and about 2 weeks before they were to bloom, I went to him and said, I think we can charge people to see these sunflowers. And he wasn't thrilled about the idea, but agreed with it. And we had our first festival then.
Great. Thanks. And you got a lot of people attending?
We did. We ended up with 1,600 people that first year, and we have over tens of thousands come out now.
So we hope everybody's going to be able to come this year because
Yes.
they'll be outside and so forth.
Exactly.
And how many different varieties of sunflowers do you have?
So our main is the black oil sunflowers, which is what you see in the pictures, and those are what we turn into our birdseed. We did plant a new variety last year that was a red sunflower, just to add a little more variety to the field.
I noticed that one when I was looking through your photos.
Yes.
So we'll have an exhibit of your work and some of the activity pieces as well, both for the gardeners and for the children.
Mm-hmm.
And I think people will really enjoy seeing it. Thank you for coming.
No problem. Thank you for having me.